piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
What's up, film fans? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to episode 270. Welcome to Pray, and welcome to the Cine-Men movie podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and I am joined by the cast, the crew. Zach?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Everyone have a good weekend?
I
Good
hope
week.
everybody had a good weekend, good week. And
I know we did because both of our teams won this weekend. I don't know about anyone else, but
it was a good weekend. You know what? And it was filled with a bunch of movies, fun, football, and you know what, Zach? The way the weather's going, I'm kind of shocked that it's almost 80 degrees yesterday, and today was a little cooler. But I guess we got some cold air coming in through the state of Oklahoma this weekend.
yeah, this time tomorrow will be like 50, 40 degrees. So we're in that time where we're slowly getting down to the last final good days of the year, and it'll be cold the rest of the time.
But you know what? Speaking of cold, we're talking about Prey today. It was the Hulu exclusive made-for-TV movie that shocked everybody last year. It kind of got a little resurgence again the last few weeks because of the physical media release. So, you know, it made me want to go back and watch all the Predator movies this week. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the recent watches. But other than football and movies, Zach, how was the weekend? And do you have any big plans for this weekend coming up?
Yeah, last weekend was good. Just to piss off OU fans, I guess, if we're going to go straight to there. OSU won the last Bedlam game, technically, depending on the future, but technically this is the last Bedlam that we're going to do for a while. So felt good. Had an OSU friend of mine that we went to college together. We had some good times. And this week, well, Friday night, we're going to go check out the Marbles. So, yeah, we have some movie plans, getting ready for Christmas, getting the decorations out. So all type of good stuff. What about you?
It was a good weekend. You know, I didn't watch a lot of the OSU game, but I did watch. You know, Texas won. They won their game barely in overtime. So it was a little bit of a heart attack moment. But as far as movies go, I checked out a lot of trailers. I saw the last trailer for the Marvels. I don't know how I feel. Did you see it?
No, I'm just trying to stay clean before the movie.
Okay, so I won't talk about that. But I did watch the teaser for the new Ghostbusters movie.
It looks good.
It does look good, but I'm still a little upset that it's spring of 2024.
Yeah, because it's supposed to come out this year, wasn't it? Or it
Yeah,
got pushed next year.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to come out, in December.
Yeah.
But last week we talked about the A24 horror movie, Talk to Me. Fun conversation with the guys. If you guys did not listen to that episode, go back into the archives at Cine-Men Movie Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Podbean, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and check out that episode or any of the past episodes.
Did you? I did send this out in the group chat. Did you check out the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes trailer?
I did. I'm
It looks
very
good.
excited for that movie. And you know, I was thinking, I was like, come on, is this going to be another reboot? But at the end of the day, it's following decades after what Caesar had led, you know, and this is supposed to be like I guess almost a reboot of the original Charles Heston movie, where where the apes are completely taken over and they almost talk as good as humans now. So I'm very interested in this fourth installment.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's awesome that it's continuing the Andy Serkis trilogy, but still lead right into the original or a reboot of the Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes. We need to talk about those three: Rise, Dawn, and War next year sometime before the new movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you guys want to check us out on the social media pages where we give away all kinds of gifts, we've given away some food certificates to our sponsors, soda. We've even given out some cold hard cash to CDR Electronics. We give out digital copies to movies. Check us out on Facebook.com/The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word, the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. X, or formerly known as Twitter, is at Cine-Men405. And then the email still exists. I just have to dig in there and answer y'all's emails back. I recently, went back to work. I'm constantly on this new thing called Grind that I haven't been on since June. So I will answer emails eventually, and I'll get back to you guys. But you can email at cinemen921@gmail.com. I don't know if, it's been fun though, Zach. Doing this podcast and just talking a bunch of random movies with you guys has been a pleasure. But let's get into some recent watches or recommendations. I don't know about you. I'll go first, but I am all caught up in Loki. I'm ready for tomorrow's season finale. And it just so happens that as soon as that episode is over, everybody can go see the Marvels. I don't think, and I don't know if they tie in together, but let me ask you this question. What do you think now about new reports stating that Marvel could shift from Kang the Conqueror, so he was supposed to be the new big bad villain after Thanos.
Right.
Now, because of all the legal issues, now I've heard that they might switch over to Doctor Doom and leave Kang alone. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Okay, so let's just say for the next 5 minutes we're gonna do some Marvel talk because I'm caught up on Loki. I'm excited, very excited for the finale next tomorrow. I think last week's episode was like that might be one of the best Marvel episodes I've seen in a while. To answer your question about switching from Kang to Doctor Doom, I think there's two things. I think one, if the Jonathan Majors stuff can get resolved before Avengers Kang Dynasty or whatever their next plan is with him, I think we'll be okay. I think they'll still use him. But if he gets convicted and sent to jail, then that's done. I think Doctor Doom is a good choice, especially since they're trying to get the Fantastic Four involved with all this. But the other part of me is just like, why wouldn't they just recast the character of Kang? I mean, I think that would be, since he's so many different variants, I would assume that that'd be an easy switcheroo. But
maybe it also shows you that they have no idea where they're going anyway.
Yeah,
because all these movies got pushed back a year or two. Now I've heard reports that Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, and the Fantastic Four are going to lead Avengers: Secret Wars. These are all rumors, obviously, but still pretty fun rumors to get into and read.
But the biggest rumor that I heard this week, I think it was early this week, was I don't know if it's, I think it's a rumor. I don't know if it's official. It's a fantasy booking, like we call it. Marvel is trying to get Robert Downey Jr. back in the Iron Man suit. And so for me, that's just like, I wish Craig was on this episode because, he's a big Iron Man fan. But to me, I feel like that's desperate because Marvel is such in a shambles right now. At the time of this recording, Marvel's is supposed to come out on Friday, and
in about 24 hours.
Yeah, technically, yeah. And currently it is 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. So reviews have been, I've heard it's really fun, it's an enjoyable movie, and then one review I've heard that it's worse than the Eternals and Quantumania. So I'll talk about it next week, but
I'm going to try to go see it this week too, and maybe we can talk about it together.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just feel like if they bring Robert Downey Jr. back, which I think all of us can agree that he's definitely one of the biggest highlights of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A, that cheapens his death in Endgame, and B, I feel like that's just a desperate move to say, hey, we need to win, and the only way to get a win is to bring all these original characters back. What do you think about it?
Okay, this is how I feel. I feel like bringing them back for one final send-off would be okay if it was like a nod to maybe like some new Avengers. And the only way they can do it right and do it proper is with the whole different variants, timelines, with the whole Loki situation. So it's possible, and it's possible to do it right, but I don't think they should be brought back for multiple films.
And to kind of jump off of what you're saying, last week's episode of Loki was so it was incredible. The whole spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Loki, like I said, for the next 5 minutes, we'll be talking about it, or a little bit less. So fast forward. The whole thing of like them, it's almost like another snap when they just like disintegrate into like strings. I thought that was one of the coolest things I'd seen in a while that Marvel has done.
Do you have any fantasy bookings on how do you think tomorrow's episode is going to finish?
I don't know, man, because it isn't like you said. It is interesting that they're going to release it the night that the Marvels comes out. I don't think it'll lead into the Marvels, but in order to, if they're going to course correct this ship from the Jonathan Major situation, they definitely need to bring in, if they are going to do Doctor Doom, they definitely need to head in that direction, because the next show is technically Echo and the next movie is Deadpool 3. So
okay, so hold on a second. After Marvels in November, which we are in, when does Deadpool 3 come out?
If it doesn't get distracted from the actor strike and all that, it's technically slated for May of next year. I think May 3rd of next year. And then Captain America New World Order is in July. So
holy shit.
Yeah.
So we have technically like 7 months until even the next Marvel movie after this one.
If everything stays according to the schedule, yeah.
Wow, interesting. I'm interested to hear everybody else's thoughts on the Marvels, if you're going to go see it, and give me some star ratings for Loki. By the time this episode drops, like Zach said, we have 24 hours to go until Loki hits. Next week, like we've done before in the past, we're going to give a star rating and a little mini review on the entire season 2 of Loki. So check it out. But as far as recent watches and recommendations, we talked about Loki. Season 2 has been amazing so far. I checked out Quiz Lady on Hulu, the new Aquafina comedy. It's fine. I'll use the Zach statement. It's okay. It's worth a watch, but I wouldn't watch it again. I rewatched Coco for Day of the Dead. Always a fun movie. I enjoyed Coco. I think to me, it's just as good, if not better, than like Toy Story, Soul, all those Pixar movies. And then, I just dug into the Predator franchise for this episode. I rewatched Prey, the original Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and then The Predator. I just stayed away from AVP. So, but yeah, we'll get into a little bit of those later on. Zach, what about you? What'd you check out? Anything you want to recommend? And if I have to recommend anything, check out the Predator franchise. I believe they're on HBO Max.
Yeah, obviously Prey for today's episode. Watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 for next week's episode. That'll be a fun conversation. And I did, I was just kind of texting you throughout the week. I did a whole Marvel binge of all the Disney Plus shows. I finished She-Hulk, watched the Marvels, which I was going to have to anyway to go see the Marvels. Caught up on Loki and Secret Invasion. And Secret Invasion,
this is where I wanted to get your thoughts at, because I completely shit on it. I did not like it. I didn't enjoy it. It felt like it was a mess to me. But you enjoy those espionage spy movies, and I have a feeling you were going to like this show.
I didn't see I think the problems that people had with it, I could see why in the last episode, but everything else leading up to that, I thought was good. I thought it was good performances. Anything between Sam Jackson and Don Cheadle and his going in the backstory of Nick Fury was very good.
Oh yeah.
I thought the Emilia Clarke stuff was fine. I think you could have got someone else.
One.
Exactly.
She was the same character.
And it was overall, I enjoyed it. I'd give it like a 7. I don't understand why people were dogging this so much, but
we probably had opposite though. I disliked Secret Invasions, but I kind of liked She-Hulk. You probably hated She-Hulk, right?
No, people that complain about the CGI
complained about it, but I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed She-Hulk. I've enjoyed honestly all the shows. I mean, some are better than others, but the mass majority of people that watch these shows and find just reasons to hate on them, I watch the shows and I don't get it, honestly. So,
how fun were the episodes of She-Hulk whenever she, was intertwined with Mark Ruffalo. I thought Mark Ruffalo was terrific in that show.
Yeah. The thing that really killed me, you've seen all of it, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing with like Kevin, and he's not Kevin Feige, he's just an artificial intelligence that's created the whole MCU. I thought that was a fun break the fourth wall, let's kind of make fun of ourselves type situation, because no one really knows how they come up with all these storylines. I thought that was cool. Yeah.
If you had to recommend anything,
So,
would you just Disney Plus it up and check out those movies?
Yeah, Disney Plus it up. Check out Loki before the finale tomorrow, and we're going to talk about Prey, and check out Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's out on physical media. You can rent it from the library, Redbox, and get ready for next week's episode.
So I just got confirmation. Next week we're gonna have director Chuck, and if I butcher your last name, I'm so sorry, but we're gonna have Chuck Morangelio, the director of The American Reaper. Check it out on IMDb. We are gonna have him in an interview next week as he promotes his new film, The American Reaper. That's next Wednesday, right before we review Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, which is the 7th installment of this Mission Impossible franchise. So yeah, let's dig into what we're talking about today. Prey currently stands at IMDb at a 7.1, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, 71% on the Metascore, with a budget of $65 million. Prey dropped on Hulu August 5th, 2022. Naru, a skilled warrior of the Comanche Nation, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. So Zach, let's dig into it, man. With a cast. Oh, I just have the cast pulled up.
I got it right here if you need it.
With a cast of Amber Midthunder, Dakota Beavers, Stormy Kemp, Michelle Thrush, directed by Dan Thatchenberg, who has also directed 10 Cloverfield Lane and now Prey. So a pretty good start.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll start with you, Johnny. Did you watch this when it first hit Hulu last year, or did you wait, or what was in compared to today's or the recent watch?
So on the first time watch, I was really excited, but I was kind of also bummed out because it was not in theaters. And looking back at it now, I wish this was in theaters. But I did watch it opening weekend on Hulu, and I was in awe of everything, honestly. And then I've watched it twice since then, once last week, and then I just kind of skimmed through and watched a little bit of it more today before we went on, and it makes for a very fun action/horror movie. I feel, and I just watched the entire franchise before today. This one feels more of a horror film than all of them, and I appreciate that about this one. So, What about you?
Yeah, same thing. Last year, I watched it the first weekend it hit Hulu. I think we were going to do it that following week, but other things just came up, or it was A24 month or whatever. And like you, I had a blast with it. I've really only seen I've seen the original Predators, and the Predator that Shane Black directed from 2018 or whatever. This one just blew everything out of the water. I was just like you, just completely shocked and awe how good this was, and it really, like you said, it bums me out that it wasn't in the movie theater, because that deserved a big screen release.
So let's dig into it. The first time this movie really hit, a lot of people ended up enjoying it. What about you, Zach? Are you a fan of any of the original movies? Have you seen most of them, or was this movie your kind of like opening segment to that franchise?
No. Like I said, I had seen the Predator. I've seen the original Predator. I've seen Predators with Adrian Brody, which I thought was a cool concept. And the Predator from yeah, I'm glad we had Prey because that Predator movie is not very good. That from Shane Black.
Yeah.
But this is a character that is very, and you know, you could throw Alien versus Predator in there, but you know, it's up to you. But this is a character that can be very interesting. Obviously, it's definitely a character that thrives in a jungle setting. But the fact that we took it to the 1700 in the Great Plains of North America, I thought that was brilliant. That trailer that they released for this was like, oh, this is going to be epic. And it was just like, now I hope Hollywood doesn't learn the wrong lesson and say, okay, let's just put the Predator in everywhere. Let's put him in the Great War during the World War One.
Do you think that's real or do you think it's fake? I heard rumors about that. I saw supposedly teaser posters, but I think they're fake. I'm not sure.
I think it's fake. I think they're trying to make it work, but in my mind, you had a good concept and just put the Predator against Native American and put a Native American hunter. That's a brilliant move, and I don't think you need to replicate that, honestly. I mean, yeah, I mean, could it be cool with him fighting soldiers in the trenches of World War One? Kind of, but it's not gonna have the same thrill as it did the first time around.
No.
I just right off the bat, I mean, I think Amber Bithunder, this is an actress I'd never heard of until this, and I thought she was brilliant in this. The cinematography was really this movie's shot beautifully. I mean, just the wide angle or the wide shots of like the mountains and the plains of North America was beautiful. And the fact that, you know, let's just talk about this for a second. Indigenous casting of like we're going to use all Native American actors for this, other than the French fur trappers. Um, I think, you know, last year I think we talked about it, how there's just been a rise in using indigenous people for film, and I think it's, you know, damn time that we did, because up at that point we had Reservation Dogs, we had Dark Winds on AMC Plus, and you know, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Killers of the Flower Moon. Other than Leo and De Niro, Scorsese used pretty much all Osage actors, extras, and everything. And I think that's just, you know, there are good stories to be told with Indigenous people, and this was definitely one of them. What do you think about that?
I enjoyed the cast a lot. And I think it's like you said, it's about time. Especially why cast or why go with, you know, a Native American cast or character if you're going to cast like Mel Gibson as a Native American or something like that. Like, you know, it's about time. I also think that as far as this movie goes, it worked really, really good. I enjoyed the costume design. I think this was filmed on location in Canada, like literally during a pandemic. So, like, more power to him for that. The score to me in this movie was so fun. Like I said, it had really big horror elements to it. The practical effects, they could have easily just done a CGI Predator like they did in the Predators or the Predator. But in this one, you know, it wasn't. If you, I think the behind the scenes are on Hulu as well, but they're definitely on the Blu-ray. If you go get the physical copy, you know, it was an actual guy in a suit. I have his name right here. It was Dane DeLegro. He played the physical Predator. So the practical effects were amazing. And then you have the Predator. Like you said, we've seen him in the jungle before in the first one, but this is a different setting. Like you said, the Great Plains. But this is the first time you start seeing the Predator in the setting to where he is. And let's get this for a lot of you who haven't seen this, go check it out. It's on Hulu. Some might be confused on why he goes and kills certain people, but yet he leaves the female Naru, he kind of leaves her untouched for a little bit, and it's plain and simple. He leaves the people untouched who don't want to harm him. Technically, if you have no intention in harming him, he's not going to mess with you. That's why if you go back and look, he gets the snake because obviously the snake senses him and the snake wants to harm him. So what does he do to the snake? He skins the snake, makes it look like a nice Eskridge smoked sausage. And then the wolf? What do you think of the wolf scene right after that?
I will say, and this might just be a nitpick, and I understand why, but I think all the animal CGI was a little lackluster. But I get why, because if you want to, you want to put your money in the main event, which is the Predator, which I get that.
Also, technically, you got to look at this was a made-for-TV movie,
right?
So with only a $60 million budget, that's a lot. But it's not like it's not like a big Hollywood $200 million budget.
Right. But do I expect him to? But do I expect him to put a full size real grizzly bear in that sequence? No. That was incredible.
You wanted to see the Predator really gut a real dog. That's what you wanted to see.
Well, I mean, that's why you go see these films, right?
No.
So, but I mean, like the wolf scene, I thought was I like, and this is what they do in the other Predator movies. At the end of the day, I'm glad they just took it back to basics. This is a Predator movie. You want them to interact with the environment. You want them to interact with humans and just the different animals around him. The wolf scene was cool. The grizzly bear fight was really, really cool. The fact that, he charges and literally punches the hell out of the grizzly bear and breaks his neck, I thought was awesome, And it's not really until maybe 40 minutes into the movie before he actually kills a human, almost. Yeah. Maybe even 50 minutes.
He kills the tribe who was trying to take her back to her village, right?
Yeah, because
And then after that, you have the scene.
And then something else.
Oh, go for it.
No, go ahead. The scene before that was when she gets stuck in the bog.
Oh yeah, that was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
So after he kills the group that's trying to take her back to her villages, then when he goes after the French group, because the French group is the one who's like kidnapped her, right?
Yeah, they use her and her brother as like bait to lure him in, and that whole sequence is just, that's why you watch a Predator movie. You just want him to kill people, like take people out left and right. The one that really I thought was like the coolest death was when he used like the rope and it like incinerated the guy in the log. I thought was just like, man, that. And something else, I know we're jumping around, but like the design of the Predator in this movie and his like tactical gear is almost like basic compared to what we've seen in other films. I like that aspect of like the Comanche uses, what you think, bow and arrows, axes, stuff. And the Predator's gear in this film is almost like ancient, and the design of the Predator himself.
Yeah, compared to what he has in like the future movies, like.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the aspect that his mask or his head cover, this was it looked like it was made out of bone.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to, maybe the titanium that he might have used in the new one or in the 1980s version. Let's talk about the electrical wire, like the net.
Yeah,
that was a fun little gadget. Or you have the shield.
Oh yeah, the shield looks so like ancient and like antique, almost is the word I want to use. Like these are like prototypes for these types of weapons that they would use in the later films. I even like the actual look of the Predator. Like his jawbone is much more expansive than it is in the other films. It's almost like a.
Don't get me wrong. This is my take on it. When I saw his face for the first time, I was like, you know what? He kind of looks like a Neanderthal version of his people.
Yeah. It's almost like he's not evolved yet into the Predator that we know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Dan Trachtenberg, and I think the reason you like this so much, the horror of it. We haven't talked about the movie, but he did 10 Cloverfield Lane. That movie is filled with like just atmosphere and just thriller vibes. You put him doing this, and yeah, I mean, I get why people like this. I get why this has like a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's just really well done. And it's just, like I said, it just goes back to basics of what a Predator movie should be.
You think the concept of I feel like, you also have the whole. Let's not forget that their blood glows in the dark, like it's a neon green like blood. And I love the poster of not only the 4K or the 4K and the Blu-ray, but even just kind of a spoiler alert. You don't see her with his blood on her face until like the very last shot of the film, because she uses his blood as like a warrior paint.
And I like that poster at the bottom left-hand corner of like that's the scene in the movie where like they're used as bait, and like she has the axe and he has like the motion detector weapon. And it's just like they're just about to go at it, and that summarizes the whole movie. It's just like these two. I like the tagline for this movie: "It lives to hunt, but they hunt to survive." That just summarizes the whole thing. It just even before the Predator actually makes contact with any humans, that's what he's doing. He's hunting, he's killing, he's like marking his territory. He kills a wolf and like uses that spray stuff to shave off all the skin and to have a collection of bones. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't do that with the bear. I thought that would have been kind of cool, but eventually we had to get to like the actual human interaction. Did you like how it's set up? It was like strings that they were setting up, like the orange flower. Like, okay, so that's it. That's how she was able to defeat him. Like, she takes the flower and it reduces her body heat. The bog that she eventually, she accidentally goes into, but uses that to kill him. Did you like the hanging strings that was eventually paid off in this?
Yeah, because it paid homage and it went back to the original, like you said, went back to basics. So it kind of teases how to destroy it, or what some of the earlier ways to get an advantage over it. Like, it's kind of simple. If you watch the first one, you really only need to watch the original. That's another thing I like about this. You don't have to watch any of them, to enjoy this movie. But if you watched the original, you're like, oh, here's where she hides her body heat. Oh, here's where this can happen. So I like that it did that. It's the best of both worlds. You can or you cannot watch the original, and either way, you're gonna have fun with this movie.
And another thing I like about it, it's only an hour and like 30 minutes, honestly, without credits. It's just you're in and out. It's an easy story. You don't have to. It's not complicated. It's just Predator.
That's where
wreaking havoc.
That's where I think the Predator went. The Shane Black 2018 version. I felt like they tried to make that too complex. He was here. He was here for a reason. He's here to take the ship home. He wants the little boy. And Shane Black knows better, man. He was in the original movie,
So it's so bad. Wasn't there like at the end of the movie?
One. There was
at the end of the movie there was
a predator
like
pug. A predator pug.
Oh, Jesus! I forgot about that. Wasn't there something like about like an Iron Man suit, like one of the main character was trying to make or something like that?
Yeah, it was called the Predator Killer, and it forms onto you like the Iron Man suit. You know which one that is underrated that we didn't even mention yet was Predator 2. I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's
is that the one with Danny Glover? Yeah,
Danny Glover, Gary Busey, where the Predator is in L.A. Phenomenal sequel, honestly, to the original. And then one that doesn't get talked about a lot either is Predators with Adrian Brody. It feels like a very sci-fi-ish like movie. It's a little over the top. It even has Mahershala Ali in it and Danny Trejo's in it for a little bit.
Yeah, I saw Predators. Well, I saw Predators and the Predator in theaters. Predators I really really like. I think that one's the underrated one. I like how it's kind of like a uh, a game. It's like a game preserve for the Predator. They take these criminals and just throw them, and let's just see how long they survive. I thought that was a really
Yeah.
cool concept.
It is almost like the hunt.
Yeah, and then you have the masterpiece Oscar winning. Can't even keep a straight face. Oscar winning films of Alien versus Predator. Do you like those films?
Honestly, I've only seen the first one once, and I've never seen Requiem. Never seen the
Rick,
second one.
Requiem is so it's so damn dark, dude. Like the cinema, like the film print or whatever. It's so dark you can't even tell what the hell's going on. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I've never seen it, but I just don't include them. Probably just because I don't remember any of them.
Yeah.
To me these films, if you want them to step out and be different, they have to be memorable. And I think
Yeah.
that's why I'm not gonna ever like the Predators, or not the Predators, the Predator, the Shane Black film. It's just
Yeah.
not memorable. It's memorable for being bad.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at Prey, there's so many scenes in this movie that are just memorable, that step
Yeah.
out to you. So I
Yeah.
think that's why this one is starting to become. I think looking back at this movie, let's say years from now, and I'm talking, the first one came out in what, 87?
Mm-hmm.
We're now 30 some odd years after that one. I say you look at Prey 30 years later, and I think it's going to have that same impact like the first one did. I think that's how memorable this movie can be.
Oh, I think it'll be a step further and be like, this is better than the original Predator, which is anti what most people think. But um I think the filmmakers and Dan Trachtenberg just want to give this character the respect it deserves. I think,
If
they did have the original film in mind and say, listen, let's just do something that's completely different that we've never seen before. And that's what I think some of these franchises need. It's fine if, you know, we complain about that there's no original ideas. This is a remake or a reboot in an essential way, but it's done while paying respect to the original film.
if there's one thing it's not a nitpick, but if there's one thing that's not memorable for Prey for me, is this one's 140, an hour and 40 minutes. The original was an hour and 47 minutes. I feel like, and it may be just because I've seen Predator a thousand times, but
Mm,
I feel like there's more impactful character development in that
yeah,
first movie. In this one, uh, Tahib dies, the whole group dies, and I don't feel anything. They're like, to me, they're wasted characters. They're just there for the kills. But if you go back and you look at the original one, and this is just again how I feel, uh, when Arnold Schwarzenegger's tactical team dies, when each of them die, you kind
mm,
of feel a sense of, oh no, I wanted him to survive. And
yeah,
it's not that it's just because they spent that extra 5 minutes on making you care about the characters, whether them talking to each other and talking about jokes. In Prey, I thought the mother was going to die because Nahib shows a little, they have that conversation where you feel some warmth towards her mother. Even when the brother dies, I didn't feel anything because I didn't get to open up to him. They didn't open him up. He was almost like the dick-headed brother. So I'm like, oh, good, he died. Good for him. I'm glad.
yeah. I'll
Is that
agree
me?
with that.
Is that me nitpicking, or I just wanted a little bit more character
No,
development?
no, I agree because now, granted, I haven't seen the original Predator in years. Which episode coming up? Guess what?
Yep,
No,
it is.
get ready. Um, I remember the thing with the Prey is that you want Naru to succeed in becoming a hunter. Like you see her, which I thought was a cool concept of like her putting the string on the axe and she's able to throw it and bring it right back, kind of like a boomerang. That's her whole entire character development is leading up to this final confrontation with her and the Predator.
Oh yeah,
And I
she doesn't
agree.
she doesn't want to be the maid or the mom technically of the village.
Yeah.
She wants to
She,
be a
she, she
warrior.
doesn't want to be the healer. She wants to be the hunter, the war hero,
Right.
like you said. In the Arnold Predator, you're right. There's much more character fluency, and that you all these it's like a band. It's like a band of brothers, and so when they start getting killed off one by one, you're like, oh damn! Like you said, I want them to survive. I want
They
them to.
use they use the Jaws effect to where you only really see the predator in full get up the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I mean, this one kind of does. I mean, this one you really don't get a full glimpse of the real predator probably until I'd
Almost the
say
same the last
the
15,
French
20 minutes.
the Frenchman attack, when like he's taking guys out left and right, which I thought was cool when he started using like the bear traps to
Yep.
kill them with. So
And the bear trap with this franchise is almost a given. You see it in almost every single movie.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I thought this was a fantastic film. The grizzly bear kill, the ending battle between the predator and Nahib. Um, Man, this is just a fun film. I highly recommend it. I'm glad we can sit here and talk about it and say not only can you just go check this out on Hulu, but you can actually go out and buy a physical copy of Prey.
Yeah,
And I think that this movie did not win any Emmys. I think it's a shame.
yeah.
But I feel like 20th Century Fox should release this in theaters or something, because it's a fun movie and it'd be awesome to check out on the big screen.
And something else, if you want to take it a step further, because I was just curious about this. Hulu does have a Comanche version of it where you can watch the film in all the original Comanche language.
Oh wow.
So I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Nice. Speaking of awards and stuff, did you see that Universal Pictures submitted Oppenheimer for 14 categories for the Oscars?
Yeah, but it's gonna be a fun award season. I mean, between Killers of the
Speaking
Flower Moon,
of
Oppenheimer.
We're already, Zach, we're already done with the second week of November. Next week is the
Yeah.
third week of November.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the remaining shows after this, but man, let's get ready to dig into it. If you had to pick a favorite scene, Zach, what's your favorite scene from Prey?
Probably the Predator versus the Frenchman, because that's just that's what you want in a Predator movie, just grotesque, like physical violence towards terrible people. I thought Amber Midthunder as Nairou, I thought she was fantastic. So any scene that she's in, which is 90% of the movie, I thought she was awesome.
Oh, she
The
brought the
grizzly,
thunder too.
yeah, the grizzly bear fight was cool, and honestly, the credits where they were using like actual like hand drawn, like look like cave paintings and like Native American drawings of like depicting what the whole film was about, I thought was really well done. Do you like how they kind of hint at a sequel, even though this film doesn't need it?
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel in a different setting. I don't think this movie necessarily needs a sequel with another Comanche tribe.
If you enjoyed Gone with the Wind, wait till the Predator gets involved.
Yeah. You know what I would, and going back to when I first saw the teaser for this movie, the Hispanic girl in the original Predator, how she talked about he only comes out during the hottest summers, and she's seen what he can do to her village and stuff like that when she was a young girl. When I saw the teaser trailer, I thought that's what this was the Predator in the early parts of Mexico in like maybe the early 1900s. So maybe
like it was like her relative.
It was like it was
way
tied
back
to
in the
her.
day.
Yeah, that's what I originally thought. But something like that could be fun too. Or what if we just get him in the Antarctica and in the frozen capsules of the world, and you bring Arnold Schwarzenegger in there and he just says freeze. Why not tie all that together,
And then John Carpenter's The Thing shows up. It's a battle. It's a real alien versus Predator.
that's how the Predator dies. The next one is Arnold's in his Mr. Freeze costume and just freezes
Oh my
him.
god.
Chill.
I we've been sitting here talking about it, but like I've been thinking I need to watch that Arnold documentary on Netflix. I've heard really good things about it.
I thought you were gonna say you needed to watch Batman and Robin.
No, Jesus, no. No.
If I had to pick a favorite scene, honestly, it's going to be the scenes where he steps out and attacks the ones who are a threat to him, whether it's the snake, the wolf, the bear, or I really enjoy. I know this is gruesome, but I really enjoy the scene where he attacks her brotherhood and her village. Like he
Yeah.
sees that they have weapons, he sees that they're a threat, and he lets her kind of just run away because
Mhm.
she's not trying to harm him. The fact that
Yeah.
you can take an alien or a predator or just a character like that and show some kind of smarts to him. He's not just some big dumb, beast trying to kill everything in his sight. I enjoy that aspect. I enjoy the
Yeah.
fact that they're trying to tell a story, and he's got some compassion. He does there's a reason for his kills. He's just not a maniac. He does
Yeah.
it for sport or he does it to protect himself.
It's
So
not like it's the opposite of the alien where they don't give a rip who you are. You're gonna die.
exactly. So I always enjoy that aspect of this character. Um, so yeah, let's get into favorite scene or star rating. Zach, we'll start with you. What do you give this?
Great original concept, cinematography, indigenous casting, great kills, Amber Mid-Thunder's performance. I feel like this is a low grade, but it's really not. That's just where I fell when my brain just kind of tallied up everything. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
I like
And
it.
this is like it still fits the same realm of where it was. Even when I rewatched it for our top 5+5 of 2022, it almost made the list, like very, very close. So
see, you say you feel like that's low, then I don't know what this one is, but I agree with you. The cinematography for this being a made-for-TV movie, the score, I just wanted a little bit more character development. That's all. I wanted to care. I wanted to care about her tribe dying, and I didn't. So I'm going to give this a 7. I still feel like this is a fun movie. It's like you said, it's like a one-night stand. You're in, you're out. You lay $5 on the table, go home, take a shower, wash off your Alien versus Predator. But I really enjoyed it. Like it's you're in and you're out. I just wanted a little bit more character development. I cared more about the animals dying than I did the tribe members.
Yeah.
Or some of her
I felt
family.
bad for that
So,
wolf.
yeah.
I felt bad for the bear.
And you know what? If Leo would have done to the bear what the Predator did, he may not have won the Oscar.
Yeah.
But no,
another
it's
scene
it's a fun movie.
Another scene that I thought was really brilliant was the food web kill, where it was like the insect, the rabbit eats the insect, the snake eats the rabbit, and then the predator kills the snake. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. And if you look, his animal prey got bigger as they came. The snake, the wolf, the bear, and then eventually he attacked and got the top dog of the food chain, which is the humans.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind seeing a lion somewhere in there. I know he's not in West Africa, but I'd like to see him take down a lion soon.
Yeah, like a mountain lion or something. Yeah, that'd have been cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I give it a 7. Zach's going to give it an 8. Let us know your thoughts, and next week we're going to try to hit the mailbag. I'm not sure, depending on how crazy this week is. But Zach, next week, man, we're digging into, and this feels like that's a little hard to believe, but we're talking the 7th installment of the Mission Impossible franchise. And last year, I want to spend just a little bit of time on this week, and then we'll talk about it more next week. This week, the 7th installment of Mission Impossible, and man, it did not feel like a Tom Cruise dominated year like it did last year with Top Gun.
Yeah.
And I've never seen this. I've never seen this movie before, so I'm going into it with an open mind.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
I've never seen it. I just opened it up last week when I put it on the Vudu. So I'm going to try to watch it twice in a week.
Yeah. I kind of want to save that conversation because, like you said, Top Gun Maverick was just huge last year, and then this one didn't even make close to what Fallout or even Mission Impossible Rogue Nation did, which is just shocking.
The trailer hyped you up. The trailer got you excited for it, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's still. I haven't seen it yet, like I said, but I feel like it's a lackluster hype of a film. Maybe because it was sandwiched in between Oppenheimer, Barbie. I don't know.
That came out the week before that, and that they had to literally push it up a whole couple days so that way it would give it time to earn some money, because that next week it wasn't going to earn nothing.
But so, next week,
it'll be an interesting conversation.
Next week, the 15th, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Thanksgiving week, the 22nd, I believe, we're talking Barbie. And then the 29th, we finished November out with Oppenheimer. So we got some of the top 3 biggest movies of the year in back-to-back-to-back week episodes.
And then if you want, I can go ahead and announce the movies for December, or do you want to wait?
We'll wait.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys follow us on social media, you can look it there already. But the rest of the month is going to be pretty stacked. So next week, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning 1, which I believe if you don't own it, you can watch it on Paramount Plus already, right?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun few weeks. Before we put the final nail in the coffin on Prey, do you have anything else you want to add to this week's episode about Prey, or are you ready for Mission Impossible? Are you ready to accept your mission?
Oh, I've accepted the mission, so I'm ready for the conversation. No, go check out Prey. Go check out Mission Impossible. I'm gonna go see the Marvels this weekend. Hopefully you do too, and we'll talk about it next week. The reason we're not doing the Marvels is just we kind of had this idea of like it's gonna be lackluster. It's not really a film that we care about. We might do a Blu-ray release, but
I look at it this way: it's a film that we care about, but honestly, our schedules are so hectic, and it kind of proved with Oppenheimer and Barbie week, like there's no way a lot of us can go see some of these movies. So why guarantee that we're going to be talking about a brand new movie if maybe only one of us gets to go see it, and then the episode's in jeopardy?
Yeah.
So,
and that's essentially why we really haven't done any
we haven't done a brand new movie
reaction films
since The Flash.
Yeah, that's true. So guys, I just kind of calculated. We have 7 episodes left for this year. It's going to go by fast. Essentially we have the rest of 2023 planned out, and we're already planning 24. So it's going to come fast.
But with that being said, if you guys want to leave your opinions, and if you guys have any recommendations, leave us some emails. If we get enough emails, if we get enough pushback, we've changed episodes before. If you guys want to hear us talk or debate about something, so send us in those emails. cinemen921@gmail.com. That's Zach. I'm Juan. We've reviewed Prey. We've discussed the Predator franchise a little bit. And everybody, man, have a good week. And we'll see you. Have Happy Veterans Day for everybody here in the States. And we'll see everybody next week on another brand new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast as we talk about Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 next week. Have a good week.